3, 2, and 1. Well, you're very welcome to the Lightweight Boxing Show. This week, myself, Dom McGuinness and Anthony $1 Million Crolla are in the capital once again. I think it's pretty obvious. Tower Bridge behind us. We are in the Potter's Fields area. I was going to say Brian Potter, but you know, a lot of people won't know what I'm on about if I said that.
Us Northerners.
As you can see, there is a public workout going on behind us because we're here because of Chisora Pulev 2. These two did battle 8 years ago. So, firstly, Ant, it was a tight fight first time around. 8 years on. What's going to be different?
I think there wasn't too much in it last night. I think last time Pulev had home advantage. This time, roles reverse. I think, listen, there's no denying, other than both guys getting a lot older, I think a lot of people see this as who's got more left.
Yeah.
But the one thing with Derek Chisora, you can never write out, listen, there's no secret. A lot of people thought after Joseph Parker fight, that should have been it. You know, should have hung his gloves up. Derek being Derek, no chance. But then also, we've said that a lot of time, you know, a good few times, I think. But for Derek to have aspirations, not of winning world titles, but to be in big fights, he has to win Saturday.
Yeah.
And does he roll back the clocks again? Like we say, it was only a few fights ago he was saying this Indian, some of that Derek's having. So, yeah, I think one thing's for sure with these two, you're guaranteed entertainment.
I think Derek just loves fighting, doesn't he? Because, as you say, he's not going to get to that level that he once flirted with when he was with a Klitschko. When he's fought the big guys, he's fought the David Hayes of this world.
Yeah.
He's not at that level, never will be again. But I think he just loves the game, doesn't he?
He does, and he just loves the big fights. But that's what I'm saying. I think he's as much as Derek he'll be saying, I'm carrying on fighting. You've got to be honest. I think for him to be involved in the big fights and not have to drop down a level, he has to win Saturday against Pulev.
He does indeed. Of course, it is a stacked card on at the O2 as well. But before we get on with the action here, of course, if you want to subscribe to the Lightweight Boxing Show, go to the YouTube channel and do all the business. Turn your notifications on, get all the action. We've done plenty of shows now, Ant, as well. There's a big back catalogue of amazing content.
Get on there, give it a watch.
So we're going to crack on here with the action because all the big boys are getting in the ring. Of course, we're going to catch up with the great and the good.
It's great setting. The sun's come out today as well. It's warming up here, so it's lovely to be able to do a public workout outside.
Kevin, you've probably answered it a million times over already. You look great at the weight. How do you find the drop down in the weight?
Surprisingly easy. I genuinely mean that. If you ask my team, check weigh-in yesterday, I was meant to be £5 over. I was £4 over. I'm in great shape. I'm feeling great. I'm surprised at how easily the weight flew off me. And the last 2 weeks, I wasn't expected to be this light. My nutritionist was kind of telling me, right, kind of you have to go back up a bit.
Always nice to be told.
It's always nice to be told. So yeah, it's listen, I've still got to get there on Friday, but I'm probably £5 over now with 2 days to go until weigh-in. So.
We've done it here a few times and it's good, and I think this is a nice one to do it at. You get a nice little vibe. There's a lot of people here. It gets you good. If anything, it gets you amped for the fight. Like people are buzzing, they're in the mood and ready to go. But I'm just fit, ready, healthy, ready to. It's the best I've felt in a while. Like for a little bit before, I had a few injuries and niggles and stuff I was trying to sort out. So this is the best camp I've had in a good kind of year or two. So I'm just buzzing to get back in there really and get stuck in.
Definitely, listen, it's my first fight at 154. It's for the WBA International. So I think if I can go out there and make a statement, this is the first stepping stone into kind of pushing on to European world honours. Masiak hasn't been stopped, and I'll be looking to kind of exploit certain things. And I'm ready for a tough 10 rounds. I don't expect it to stop him. No one expects me to stop him because he hasn't been stopped. He went 10 rounds with Fowler at middleweight. So I'm looking forward to a tough 10 rounds. But like I keep on saying, if I have my opponent hurt, I always finish the show and I always close the show.
Expect from me, I've been working with someone new, so I've been working on a few different things, so that's going to be coming into play. I'm just going to have a nice controlled performance, work on those bits that we've been really trying to ingrain in me and get going. Nice controlled, no silly mistakes, definitely not a slow start, and then get him out of there in the first half of the fight.
Obviously you've been here before, but with Derek, you've been there before with Derek. What's changed with him now? You know him well.
He's a little bit lazy. Maybe he's a little bit not so loud like before, not so problematic like before. See, now he make music. It's good. I like that. I like that. It's his new style. It's not bad. It's good. It's good. Maybe next level in his life. I like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, it's a great musician. Kubrat, we've seen press releases saying you'll retire Derek. Yep. Win on Saturday, it puts you right back in the title frame. Is that the aim for Kubrat Pulev, to be world champion still?
Yeah, this is my way is to world title, and this is very important for me. Derek, I don't take personally.
Yeah.
I beat him one time, and this Saturday is gonna be the second time. It's not easy fight, but I think I'm gonna win second time.
Will you beat him differently?
For sure, because he's different, I'm different, little bit. We teach each other. I teach myself every day. To be better and better.
Yeah.
In boxing, same thing. Big show, yeah. Yeah, good. You see, boxing and always show, always big show.
Kubrat, you look in a fantastic shape, yeah?
Thank you so much.
Do you still believe at this point in your career you're improving?
So I feel very good, and sometimes I'm running and I think about myself. I running 10 kilometers and I run hard and quick, and I said, how I do this? So it's really I have a lot of power and I feel good, and so that's why thank you God. That's we're healthy.
Yeah.
This is most important, and whatever we must stay, just respect each other.
Yes.
That's it. That's it. What we need. We need just a little bit of love. Simple. Yeah. And smile.
Yes.
After you've smashed him in the face as many times as you can. Yeah.
Yeah. After,
and then a drink after it, Kubrat.
He's good. He's good. But I like him. Really.
Well, Derek, you've done a very Derek thing there. You've given tickets away. You've played the musical chairs. You like doing that. We saw that in Manchester. It went down very well. You had him involved last time.
Champion of it.
Yeah, champion of it. You know why? Last time in Manchester it was like more like athletes, people work for in the industry. But I figure out I'll change it up today. Bring
the public in.
And I gave her 2 tickets and like 350, bucks. It made her happy, bro. Amazing.
She was very, very happy.
Yeah.
But it's a big night for you, isn't it? We've been speaking to your friend Kubrat Pulev. He said nice things about you. He says he likes you, but obviously he wants to do a job on you on Saturday.
Yeah, hey, listen, same here. He's trying to prove something. Like he's badass. I don't play that game. If I'm in that game, if I want to be that game, if I wanted to sell the fight in that way, I'd have done from the day get-go. But. I've paid so much fines, he's taking my cap, him pushing his head on my head. I get it, he's trying to prove something, but really truly with me, man, if I just let it loose, bro, then we won't be fighting. I know that for a fact. So I had to control myself, hold myself back, I want to fight, I enjoy fighting. If I let it kicked off, mate, I would have been messed up, I would have been mad.
Derek, we know what you said about retirement. On Saturday, you're looking forward to proving a lot of people wrong on Saturday?
Oh, yes. As you know, Cousin Anthony is a pussy because he retired early. Listen, there's 2 things in life most people have to understand is I got a beautiful home, I got 2 beautiful kids, and I got a beautiful partner who looks after everything for me, which is don't give me stress. So when I come back home from training, she's happy, she's cool, so she gives me that time to do what I do, what I love most, if your home is nice and tight, so you can go on as many years as you want until you're ready to say, my bones can't take it anymore. And this camp, since I lost the fight to Joseph Parker, I haven't stopped training. I only took it 2 days off, and I went back in the gym, started training 45 minutes a day. I train 45 minutes a day. I will not go beyond 45 minutes a day. Because there's no point of going past 3-4 hours training. 45 minutes, I know what I want to do for 45 minutes. If it's back day, it's back day. If it's pads day, it's pads day. If I come in, I'll skip for 20 minutes, and then that's it. And then I'll do my weights, and that's it. There's ways you have to train when you get to my age, and that's the way I train
Being
now.
Smart.
And then if I want to prove myself, I get these young guys come in from Germany, come in and try and knock me out. But by the time I finish 4 rounds, they're ready to jump out the ring. So, I'm still at the game, so I'm happy about it. Saturday night, I can guarantee you guys, I'm gonna push so pace. The pace I'm gonna start with, beyond black, you ain't gonna survive.
Well, of course, we are going to move away from the heavyweights. There's always a bit of action, a bit of fun, a bit of nonsense, obviously. When Derek Chisora is in town, he brings a bit of a crowd as well. But we're going to talk about a women's fight that has captured the imagination. It's been spoken about for a long, long time, of course. It is Savannah Marshall against Claressa Shields, the self-proclaimed GWOAT, and against an undercard that's pretty decent as well, Anne. But in terms of Savannah and Claressa, it's made. It's September the 10th. What are your initial thoughts on it?
I cannot wait for it. I think outside Katie Taylor-Serrano, it's the biggest fight we've seen on the women's side of things, and I know they're talking about an all-women's card as well, but there's going to be so many eyes on this show, and I think, for me, first impressions, I'm a big fan of both, but obviously I'm seriously rooting for Savannah Marshall. And I think, just reactions from the press conference, little clips that are going to go out on the gloves are rough. She seems to have Claressa on strings. She's buying absolutely everything. And it's mad, when I first saw Claressa Shields, I just saw this unbelievable talent at 17-year-olds in the gym in Bolton before the 2012 Olympics, and I was like, wow. But it's hard to say. She is one of the, I don't believe in the self-proclaimed GWOAT. I don't agree with that. But what I will say is, she is,
I think Katie.
Yes, Katie will do, but no, she's right up there. There's no denying that she's right up there. But in a strange way, I certainly the last year, 18 months, more and more people have leaned towards Savannah Marshall. And at one point where Savannah would have been a big underdog, despite the amateur win, it's now a very even fight. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens when Savannah lands. When she's been doing that of late, they've been going over.
Yeah, I know you've seen a lot of her in sparring as well, haven't you? But in terms of Savannah, we've had Savannah as a guest on the lightweight boxing show. We have actually had Michaela Mayer as a guest on the lightweight boxing show before as well, but we're going to hear from Michaela again now, and also Claressa Shields. Both have been talking to Joey Mills.
2022 really feels like a huge year for women's boxing, and I just wanted to hear your take on how far the sport has come in your time as a boxer.
It's come so far. I am so happy to be a part of this era of women's boxing. I think that we're changing the narrative, and this fight card right here is a perfect example of that. Getting 2 of the greatest women fights at the same time, giving the fans an easy one-stop shop. And I couldn't be happier to be a part of it. I think we're all on track, and I don't think that women's boxing will ever disappear again. I'm really excited, and I feel like if my career would end tomorrow, that I did the absolute best that I could. I hope it does, and I still have so much more that I want to accomplish, and so much more that I need to get done, but I feel like I did my best, and we're in a good place.
Hi Claressa, great to speak to you. Is Savannah Marshall the best fighter that you fought as a professional, and why do you feel yes or no is the answer?
No, I don't think she's the best fighter that I fought against in my career, because I fought against all girls who were either the champion or number 2 or former champions. I think that as far as in skill-wise, the best fighter that I fought against, skill-wise, I will say is skill-wise, I've been so much better than all of them. I want to see probably Ivana Habazin. She has some great skill. But the biggest puncher that I fought against is Franchon Cruz. She was very, very sturdy, tough, and just had a really, really big, wicked punch.
We've just heard from the Savannah Marshall card, if you like. We've heard from Claressa Shields. We've heard from Michaela Mayer. Now you've got one in the fight, of course, in the shape of Mayer-Baumgardner. This is a big deal, this fight, isn't it? I mean, obviously there's a main event, but that sits below it as well.
Yeah, actually, personally, I was a bit disappointed that fight wasn't main event in America. Yeah. 2 Americans that really talk a lot. Great news for the card, by the way, but Mayer is a big star. Baumgardner, I think, is a big star. It's a really good fight. It's a 50-50 fight. Baumgardner's very dangerous. We saw that in the Harper fight. Mayer is very well-rounded. She's technically very solid as well. Very good fighter. I think maybe the last of her fights actually at super feather, because she's a big super feather as well. And looking forward to that one. And obviously behind Alicia Baumgardner all the way.
I always say fight camp done wonders for women's boxing, so you've got to take some of the credit for that, which you will,
Obviously, I'll take it all. Not some of it.
But does it, Does that show, you know, you're willing to put Baumgardner on that card, that you're willing to put the fighters on? If that's the show, and that's you're not scared of putting fighters on other shows.
We always, it's all about the deal, Crolla. It's all about
it
for the
just
fight.
makes sense.
You work with us, you know. It's like at the end of the day, she got offered an amount of money that I could not believe, right? So and we were taking it at half the money. We were taking it at half the money. Sorry, Top Rank. You know what I mean? And it got to a point, she's making probably double what Mayer's making because they wanted it so bad. We made Taylor Serrano, we put pressure on everybody else, like ESPN and Bob Arum, to do something to look like they actually want to support women's boxing. And then they paid up. Sweet. I mean, it's amazing for women's boxing. You know, and you've got Ramla Ali standing behind us. You know, you've got so many great young female fighters coming through. This is another great card. I believe this card is all females.
I was going to ask, how do you feel about that?
Problem is, if I say something negative, people think I'm criticising the card. About 3 years ago, I had the idea to do an all-female card, right, on International Women's Day.
Yes.
I went to Katie Taylor and I said, you're going to headline an all-female card on International Women's Day, and she went, not in a million years. And I went, why? She said, because that's not what it's about. It's not about male and female, it's about equality.
Boxing.
It's about women being part of big male shows and vice versa. Like if you go back to Taylor Serrano, the co-main event was Liam Smith against Jesse Vargas, which was actually a headline event on any other show. So I don't disagree with it, but that was her response, that it's not about all women. It's about, you know, but it's still a good celebration of women's boxing, I feel. You know, I think it's a good card.
What about Katie? Have you spoken to her recently? What's the plan?
Yeah, I mean, look, with, you know, people talking about maybe a crossover fight with Holly Holm or Cyborg. There's other fighters, world champions as well. Choi, who's down at super featherweight, could be an option. Disappointed we couldn't make the Serrano rematch, but she wanted another fight before she considered that. Just chilling out. And then you've got the other undisputed or about to be undisputed, Chantel Cameron, Jessica McCaskill. They actually could fight each other, which would be an absolute war because they just come forward all night. But, you know, I do believe that Chantel Cameron and Jessica McCaskill are also potential opponents for Katie Taylor as well.
Just to find out one on Katie before we just get to this now. Is Croke Park still a real thing?
Yeah, I think that has to be for the Serrano rematch, I feel. You know, like, you got Cyborg, you got Holly Holm, these are huge fights, but I feel like they'll happen later on in the year. We were pushing for September for Croke Park with Serrano. Unfortunately, she didn't want that fight. So I think Croke Park will have to sit on ice for spring-summer of 2023. Absolutely, it's a must for me. 80,000 at Croke Park for the rematch. I mean, that was the disappointing thing about not being able to engage Serrano in those talks, but it is what it is, and you know, we move on.
Getting on to this weekend, main event, it's been well publicised. A lot of people thought Derek probably should have walked away after the Joseph Park fight. Derek being Derek, absolutely no chance. Do you believe, I'm not talking world titles, but do you believe for Derek to still be involved in big fights at this kind of level, he has to win?
He does. The thing is, you know, like when you lose a fight, generally you'll come back with an easier fight. So, but with Derek, I actually thought after the Parker fight, look, there's a lot of people saying you should walk away. Let's come back with a good win. Right? And he was like, it's a good win. He went, who's out there? Give me Konaki, give me Pulev, give me... But I feel a bit for Derek because when you look at his losses, like Tyson Fury twice, Alexander Usyk, Vitaly Klitschko, got robbed against Helenius, lost to Joseph Parker, lost to Dillian White in 2 really close fights. Like, and it's not like... The moment he starts deteriorating in the ring, the moment he starts looking bad in training, that's the moment that people around him will go, Derek, it's time for... You know, people love Derek. In the game. There's a lot of people that would say to him, mate, you need to stop. But he's sparring well, he's training well, he's fit, he loves it. And the funny thing is I said to him, if you beat Kubrat Pulev, you'd probably fight Wilder or something like that, you know. And he's like, will I? But everything for Derek is just the fight. There's no plan. You know what I mean? So I don't know what he's going to do, but I know he wants to win, and I know we're going to get a great fight. And the one thing with Derek Chisora is, you know, when he turns up, he'll give you everything.
Absolute handful for anyone,
I'm sure it'd be useful for the camp for Anthony Joshua as well, knowing what he knows about Usyk and all the rest of it. I don't know if they were talking last week, but since last week, there's a bit of fallout about a few things that were said last week. Carl Froch talking about brain transplants for Anthony Joshua is one thing. I mean, you mates with both of those two, aren't you? But funny kind of dynamic going on there, and there just seems to be that there's the odd naysayer with Josh now before we're even anywhere near it.
Just life, isn't it? I mean, you know, I think Canelo Alvarez gets it. We've seen that with Ryan Garcia and that sort of stuff. It's just, I don't know. I think that people talk about. I think Peter Fury. I listened to a few words from him the other day, where he's talking about it's not just, you don't just stick it on him. Like, it's not as easy as that. It's like, but it's not. like the man on the street, and probably me as well, would go, what you got to do is, you got to cut off the ring, and then you just got to, it's like when you fought Lomachenko.
Yeah,
it's not as easy just to, like they were saying to you, cut the ring off, walk him down, and like, you know, put pressure on him. It don't work like that. If you try and outbox him, that don't work either. So it's a very, very tricky assignment. And for me, even though I heard Johnny Nelson say that Usyk was average, I think he's pound for pound number one, or very close to.
Very
right?
strong case for it,
And then it's like, if you lose to him, you should retire. You know, when he lost to Usyk the first time, I had people in the sport saying to me, AJ should retire, really. It's like, bloody hell. Yeah. It's 115, 113 on some cards. I had it by 4 rounds, but either way, like, he still won 4 rounds.
It wasn't a whitewash,
I don't know, and he fought a terrible fight. So I think just people in this sport are very quick to jump on people and say, whereas really we should be applauding him and saying he's another one where he could have taken an easy fight for 10 mil, you know, a couple of nice little tickle overs.
10 mil.
I don't know, but you know, or probably more, to be honest with you.
We know boxing Twitter never lies, and we've seen a lot of rumours now about a huge fight that's been made that'd be coming to DAZN. How close are we? Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. I don't know which way you'd say
I've had a lot of.
Is it still in talks?
Not really. I mean, look, Calla Sauerland's been in Australia. Look, it's the biggest fight in British outside of Fury, but it's not.
It's massive.
I can't tell you that we're here negotiating it.
Yeah.
I've had so many calls from journalists saying, "Oh, we've heard it's imminent." It's definitely
so
not
it is
imminent.
boxing Twitter.
It's boxing Twitter, but that fight, of course, like, it's a one-off that you could make if the weight was right, if so many things are right, but not yet. We're working on other fights for Conor Benn. Whether there's a conversation with Calla about Benn-Eubank, of course, would be massive, but it's not. At the moment, we're focused on the welterweight division and a route to the world title.
So.
Just a quick couple to wrap it up. We've seen Liam Smith has gone to Sky. Talk of Okolie.
Yes.
What's going on with that? I mean, obviously you've lost Liam, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But
I think, to be honest with you, I'm quite relaxed about losing our non-flagship guys. Like, I know you don't want to lose talent, but at the same time, the opportunities out there for the fighters at the moment. You know, Lawrence Okolie has one fight left with him. I've seen the proposal from Sky. It's to become the face of Sky Sports Boxing. And that's what it says on the proposal. I've seen the money. It's, you know, so you get to a point where, and you don't want to fall out with a fighter at the same time. Like, if you hold a fighter back from taking a life-changing opportunity, you know, it's never really what we've been about. So people like Liam Smith, who aren't top priority for us, yet can earn double the money on another platform, I could let him go and earn it for his family. You know, of course, away from Canelo and AJ and Golovkin and these sort of people, there's a lot of other fighters. We don't want to lose young talent, but at the end of the day, we know about the commercial draw of Lawrence Okolie, and we have a value for that draw. If someone else is prepared to pay 3 times more than that, who are we to stop that fighter making the opportunity? And at the moment, it's that competitive that is the way that the sport is going. So amazing time for the fighters.
Just a very quick word about Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Hasim Rahman, your co-promoter. He has been obviously for Taylor
Serrano.
It's
a very clever fight from Jake Paul. Like, you know, because everyone goes, wow, Hasim Rahman's son. You know, like, he just lost.
So for fighting Tommy Fury? Don't know.
I mean, he just got knocked out by Tommy Morrison's son.
Ah, right, okay,
Who's, you know, I don't want to, just in case I bump into him, don't want to say limited, but, you know. But yeah, I think he's a very clever pick. Very clever pick.
Yeah. And very finally, any news on the broadcast for Josh Usyk?
No, not out. We're not involved with that process. Of course, look, AJ signed a long-term deal with DAZN outside of this specific fight because the Saudis own the rights to this fight. There's negotiations going on, and I guess they'll choose the one who pays the most, basically.
Right, we look forward to finding out. As ever, the geezer from Matchroom Sport, Eddie Hearn. Thanks very much indeed. Well, good to hear from Eddie Hearn there, Anthony. And again, you know, we've still got a bit of excitement about Derek Chisora and his career, amongst all the other things that we spoke about. And again, we've seen it all today. We've seen all the action. And again, have you changed anything? Any of your opinions about Saturday?
I think, listen, it all will be revealed like most fights when the bell goes. I think, listen, there's no denying Derek last time out didn't look the vintage Derek Chisora, but one thing he has done, he's been writ off so many times before and he's bounced back. It's going to have to be a world apart from last fight to come out victorious on Saturday night, but it's sort of right, Derek, off at your peril. It's one thing you guarantee with Derek Chisora, this makes sense, is the unpredictability of Derek Chisora. But a Derek Chisora who's focused, who performs, is an handful and more for absolutely any heavyweight in the world.
We've seen some of his unpredictable kind of nature today already.
Yes.
Anyway, so we look forward to that. Of course, this is the Lightweight Boxing Show. What you got to do is go to YouTube, like, subscribe, turn your notifications on. But before we go on, I just want you to pick out where the action is, where the Betfred punters are going to put their money this weekend.
Right, okay. So a little accumulator. Right. Ram Rally points.
Okay.
Kevin Agyako, I'm going points. I'll be honest, I'm gonna stay away from the main event because it's a real tough one to call. Majimov, I think he does it inside the distance. Don't forget he come from behind last time, and the Sorokin rightfully so got a rematch to the controversy there. And there was one more. Fabio Wardley inside the distance, inside the first half as well.
Okay, so Wardley's going to do what he said
so
he's going to do.
Yeah,
In your opinion, he's going to back
yeah.
up those words as well. So great to catch up with everyone here and the magnificent surroundings of Tower Bridge on the south bank of the River Thames. We'll catch you somewhere on the road next week. Thanks for watching.